So this evening we're doing an oval version, and this one, if you struggled to make the circle one because the circle is quite a tight way that you need to get the card round, these ones are far easier because the bend isn't quite as severe. So this one is using the Magic in This Night suite, or items from it, but then I've also used, instead of the dies from that suite, I've used the Ornate Frames ones, which are from, they were a carryover from last year. So, like the cylinder box, this one's also got that inner piece which allows it to be a flush lid. Got some gorgeous organdy ribbon, glittered. I think my light is catching it there. And then, as you can see, I've used the paper from that series as well. So this evening we're going to be making a Pretty Peacock version, and we're going to be using this pattern of paper, which is like a, I don't know, I would say like more of a Baroque pattern to it, and it's on the back of like a black and white rose pattern, so we're going to use this. So what you will need 4 ovals, and these are the largest oval die from the layering ovals set. So this is the layering ovals set. The ones that we need today, this largest one here, and then the second largest one as well. So the largest one, this makes the 4 ovals that we use as the lid and the base templates. The second largest I will be putting through the Big Shot, and that'll give us our DSP piece for the lid, and so they will go together. We also need 3 pieces of card, so we need an outer base which is 2.5 by 10.25, and that will act as this outer piece here, which then hooks onto the base. You then need a piece that's 2 3/8 by 11, and this I've kept it as 11, but we do trim a small part of it, but I'll show you how we do that, because how you fold, bend your card on the inside of the box differs where you chop it, and I found that when I try to do it to an exact measurement, it can differ each and every time. So this way we'll be able to do it exact every time. And then for the lid, this piece is 1.25 by 10.25, and then you need 2 pieces of DSP, one for the base, which is, I've only cut the width correctly because we're going to do the same as we're going to do with the inner piece, in which we measure it round and cut accordingly. And then the same with this. So the base piece is 1 3/4 in width, and then the length, I've just kept it as the full length, and same with the lid, which is 1/2 inch, and then I've kept that at the full length as well. And then I've pre-cut this as I was trying out the glitter paper through the cut and emboss machine, and this is on the black glitter, hopefully you can see that there. And then the last thing we need is a piece of very vanilla scrap, and that will be for our sentiment. And then I'm also going to be using the gorgeous iridescent pearls, which I can't stop using. They're on everything Halloween. Right, so I'm just going to scoot some of these pieces out of the way, and we're going to get our scoreboard out. So I've got to make sure I get the right one of these. That's the only problem when they're similar sizes. So we need the 2 pieces that are 10.25 in length. So this is the 1.25 and the 2.5. We're going to grab our scoreboard. Evening, Janice. Hi, Alison as well. I hope you're both well. Okay, so it doesn't matter which piece goes first, as the measurements are the same on each piece. and hopefully this evening I'll be showing you how to do it correctly first time. Those of you that were here last night will know exactly what I mean by that. Okay, so both of them need to be scored. So short side first, so we're scoring down its full length at 1/2 inch. And then to help us get a nice curve on our lid and our box without it bending and giving those, so when I did this one, I did screw one of them up, and you can see that it gives quite a little bit of a jagged edge if you don't get a nice curve to it. So I score it at every 1/2 inch, and that just gives me a nice little guideline as to where to cut my tabs when I'm sticking them to the ovals for the lid and the base. So every 1/2 inch all the way along. So whilst I do this, I'm going to repeat it on the other piece as well. I'll remind you of the giveaway that's currently taking place as part of this birthday live event. So I will be giving a paper pumpkin box of sunshine to one lucky winner. To enter, you need to comment on any birthday party related post on my blog, on my Instagram, Facebook, or on YouTube. Now, if you do comment on YouTube, and if you have a username that's perhaps different from your name or isn't identifiable, please also just put something in the comments that makes me know who you are. Every comment on all those posts will get one entry into the draw each. So if you comment on 5 of my posts, you will get 5 entries. If you are a customer of mine and you place an order in that time, that order will get 5 entries into the giveaway. And then on Monday the 14th of October, all those entries will be put into a random generator and I will be able to announce the winner. So, we've done our 2 pieces there. So, just to recap, that was 1/2 inch down both, and then every 1/2 inch along to that score line that we made. So it's just a small sliver that's actually scored. And I'm going to grab my snips for this. I haven't got anything out, so I apologise, I keep reaching across the camera. And all we're going to do is I'll score it first, burnish it first. Makes it much easier. So the general concept of this is that once we've cut those marks, we then are able to create some nice curved tabs, and the same on the lid piece. Like so. So all I'm going to do is, if I can get this under the camera, is I'm going to treat each of these as their own square and mitre in on both the left and the right, like so. But then all I'm doing is, rather than cut down and then mitre the next one, I mitre the next one at the same time, and so technically you're cutting out a small little triangle. And the triangles get everywhere, so I apologise in advance. So work our way along there and use those lines just as a guide. Now, it doesn't need to be perfect as long as you're getting some nice little tabs that have something to stick when that curve comes into play. So working our way along, and as you can see, they get everywhere. They're a bit like dimensional backings. If you're not finding backings for a project that you made 6 months ago, are you even a Stampin' Up! Crafter? Concentration face is going on strong over here. So well over the halfway mark now into my birthday party series. What have we got left? 2 left after tonight. So ending them on Sunday. So I will add that on the giveaway, the deadline for any comments and orders will be 23:59 on Sunday the 13th. Because the times don't give you seconds and so forth, anything that comes in after 23:59, I'm just going to have to assume was the next day. Right, so this is the outer base, and you see here I took off that final little, it wasn't a full tab, it was like a partial tab, so I've taken that off. And why I've done that is when these two pieces of card are wrapped around one another, they do meet, and you do use this as a glue tab. So what I'm also going to do is ever so slightly, not too much, miter that a tiny bit, same at the bottom, just so that it gives you a bit of a tab, but then when they meet it's not unsightly, like so. So that's the base. Get the lid done as well. Move those out of my way. And then the same down this piece. Just use that guideline to get your triangles cut and get those tabs. And then we will be able to start bringing the box together as once, this is the work intensive part of the whole thing really, getting these tabs. Make sure you've got a decent pair of snips and you're laughing. Got a few more people joined there. Say hello, don't be shy. Don't bite, I promise. So if you like the look of this project and you haven't seen my previous one, so my previous one was a circular one where this one's oval. It's the same concept, and I used slightly different papers when I made that one, but you'll be able to catch up on this one tomorrow on my YouTube, and the other one is already there. If you head on over to my YouTube, please make sure you drop me a subscription over there if you haven't already. You will find any video links in my blogs that I post, or if you go onto my Facebook page, there is a link that takes you onto my YouTube. So I've taken that part tab off again, and again I'm just mitering ever so slightly on the end, just so that when they do join we've got a nice join like so. Okay, so let me throw all these little triangles into my bin before they take over my craft room, as it is very tidy in my craft room at the moment. If you've seen my post from today, I've been doing a bit of moving things around. Okay, so we have our 4 ovals and we need 2 for the lid and 2 for the base. So what you need to do is decide which one, I mean they're both the same, but I don't know, you might have a mark on one or something, and so you want to decide which one to hide or which side to use. Pick one, and then I'm going to use Seal Plus on mine. In fact, I'm going to swap my Seal Plus. So if you've not seen the Seal Plus being swapped out before, 2 halves to the cartridge, take the inner out, and then brand new inner, little wheel with big inner, big wheel with little inner, like so, and then you just put your 2 halves back together, and it's as simple as that, and we're cooking. Right, so make sure I've wheeled it on there, and then all I'm going to do is pop little bits of seal around the edges. I didn't quite move that on right, have I? What have I done? Nah, I've got gunkage at the bottom, that's why. Oh, I've never had that happen before. My seal's actually got stuck on itself. There we go. There you go, see? Live seal repairs at the same time. Hopefully that's us good now and we can just go around the edge. And as you'll see, I'm just doing little bits around the edge just so that we can get it to curve round. Obviously, because it's a rectangular tape runner, it's going to be a bit of a different shape than what we might want round the edge. You can use multi-purpose liquid glue if you want to. I wanted to use tape just on this because, one, for speed, two, it sticks faster. It does hold, but obviously multi-purpose liquid glue would also give you that opportunity to wiggle things around. And yes, gunkage. Gunkage is a brilliant word. Right, so we've got our oval, we've got it all sealed round, and then I like to start in the middle of my section and on the middle fat end of the oval as well. In fact, first, what I like to do is just get my bone folder and help give a bit more of a natural bend to the card. Try not to rip your tabs off at the same time, but we'll give that just a bit of a bend. And then in at the middle, and how I do it is I line the oval just under the score line so that the score line and the tab are over the edge, and then I just run it along it like a train on a track. Just push it along the score line like so, sticking the tabs as you go along. And then this will help the box to curve. So like so, keep just running it round. And then make sure the one that you stick underneath is the one that we mitered and has got that missing part tab. And then there you see, look, they'll crisscross over nicely. And I do use Tombow for that part because you do need the wiggle room. You want to make sure it's straight, you want to make sure it's even, and seal doesn't quite give you that wiggle room that Tombow does. So keep going round, and don't worry about these unsightly tabs, that's what the second oval is for. It gets a little more difficult as you get to the end. There we go, just stick them down like so. And then as you get to the last one, just pop that up a sec so I can get underneath. And then I'm just going to put a small sliver of glue under there with my Tombow, just so that I can get this stuck like so. Lining up my bottom edges so that they're straight, and then stick that top tab like so. And then we'll just hold that a second, and then we'll get that top tab stuck. See, as it's wanted to move. And then just pop any of these down that have decided to come back up. And there, as you can see, we've got our base. Now it will bend out of shape at the moment, and that's just because the card doesn't want to naturally curve. But don't worry, our lid will sort that out. And then for the top, I am just going to Tombow the top oval on. For the base, sorry. This is the base, not the lid. But to cover all those tabs, we just put that second oval on. like so. Just make sure it's in position, covering up as much as you can. And then this is the same method for the lid as well. So now I flip it over and I just use the base of my Tombow just to make sure it's all stuck down. And there we are. That's the base. So now we're going to do the same for the lid. Get one of our ovals, pop some seal around the edges. Again, starting in the middle of the oval and the middle of the lid that we've got. Running it along that track like I showed you on the first one. And then we just run along. Bending it round. Like so. And again, just making sure that mitered edge is the one that's done first, and then go back the other way. And then leave that last tab up like we did on the other one. And we can get that glue in underneath, like so. Line those edges of the card up, like that. Just keep hold a second. And then stick that last tab down. And while I hold the side, we'll put our top oval on as well. Or I will when I can pick it up. And there. And then same as the other one, I'm just going to pop that down and use my Tombow just to apply a bit of pressure. And there we are. So that's the base on the lid. And that's the hard part of it all done. So you can see there, my tab hasn't quite gone in as much as I'd like, but we're good. So at the moment, as you can see, the lid doesn't fit on because we've used the exact same measurements for the lid and the base in terms of the width. So we have the other piece of card, which is 2 3/8 by 11. Now there's no scoring on this. All we're going to do is give it a bit of a bend so that it wants to fit inside. And then we're going to put it round on itself, pop it inside, and I'm just going to draw a quick mark, making sure I've got it flush to the edges. I'm just going to draw where I want to trim this. Just get a pen out there. So about there, but then you want a bit to stick, so I know that I need to go just slightly further than that line. Where's my bigger scissors? They're there. So there was that line. I'm just going to go a little bit further along so that we've got a bit of a stick. Actually, it's inside, we don't need a bit of a stick, do we? So we'll just go there. Just double check it before I stick it in. Put my pen mark to the bottom so that we're not going to see it when I pop it in. Yep, I'm happy with that. In fact, it's stuck in already. I can't get it back out. See, that's how good a fit it is. I'm going to take a small sliver off again. Not much. That'll do. And then all I'm doing with this one is I will tombow the inside of the box, and that's just because there is a lip on this inner for the lid to sit, and I don't want to get glue in the wrong place. If any glue comes out, there we go. So I'm just going to glue the inside wall of the box. Good old Tombow makes life easy for this part. If you're using any other glue, then I'd probably just measure the bit that's going to be flush, sticking out the top, and then that way you don't put too much glue that you can then see it. So make that smaller than it needs to be, and then we're just going to press it out against that glue, and there we go, we've got a perfect fit because of how I drew it. And then I'm just going to get my bone folder and just run the box round, keeping it curved as I go, trying not to squash my oval. And then like so. And now the lid, she says, will fit on. And there we are. So it's fit on lovely there. So that's our box. We can now decorate it. So I am using the Magic in This Night. I'm just going to pop my Tombow away. And these are, for those that weren't here at the beginning, this is 1 3/4 in height, just so that we can pop that round there. But what I haven't done is I haven't cut the length correctly. I've kept it as is, so that, and I'm just going to take the lid off a moment, so that when we pop it round, I can trim it to where it needs to be, and then we can get a nice, accurate, neat little fit. So for this, I am going to use my seal. Plus, normal seal would have been good. What I'm not going to do is do it down the full length just yet. Where's my cross? So what I do, where the seam is, I cover the paper just ever so slightly and stick on. Then I line it up as we go around. And then the last bit has no stick. You can put that bit on at the end. But I know that that's where my paper meets. There. So just peel that bit back up. And I'm going to hopefully make those lines meet. Like so. So now I can just pop my last bit of seal on there. And get a bit close to the edge. And then match that up. Like so. So we've done the base there, and we're going to do the lid in the same way. So pop some seal, like Seal Plus, sorry, down a fair way of the length, but not all of it, so that you've still got that wiggle room to move with. And where's my seam? Again, I'm covering the seam, or close to the seam, so I can keep all the seams in the same place. And again, we're just going to go around, making sure we're keeping a good equal distance around both sides. And then I'm just going to feed it round to the end, match them up. Where's my pen gone? It's there. And I know my line's there. So I'm going to trim that again. like so. Pop that out of the way, and then because I didn't glue the end, I'm just going to pop that last bit of seal on. And feed that back around. Like so. So then if we pop our lid back on, we're getting there with our box. Okay, so now the top. So what I'm going to do is do my bit of stamping first, so that when we put the top through, we can die cut our sentiment out as well. So, Hallow's Night Magic, and I'm using the Trick or Treat sentiment. So I'll just grab that out, which is up here. I'll just grab a block, let's see. Is that one? Yeah. So line this up on my grid paper, make sure I get it as straight as I can, so that when I stamp, I've got a fighting chance. Although the good thing about die cutting is if you stamp first and then die cut, you can move your die cut to suit your wonky stamping. So Memento ink, and then stamp down. Pop that out of the way because we don't need that again. And then I am using the ornate frames to cut this out. And the one that I find fits the best in, so this one was the one that cut the glitter out. I find this one or this one fit the best inside, but this one tends to, if you see the lines there, they tend to match the best. So I'm going to grab my cut and emboss, and we'll cut these out. So get the machine, and I apologise if this is really close up because I've just realised how close my phone is to the machine itself. So to cut these out, I've got my plate number 1, I've got plate number 2, I've got a plate number 3 which has seen better life and needs replacing, and I've got another plate number 3 somewhere. I've also got a spare set of plates waiting, which I should have put on really, but hey ho. Right, okay, so designer series paper with our second largest oval, and then the ornate frame, and then I'm just going to try and get that centred best I can, like so, and then we'll pop them through. And I really love how easy this machine is. Sorry if I'm shaking you a bit there. There we go, we're through. Right, pop this out of your way. I love how nice and compact it all folds up. Pop my plates out of the way. And now we've got our oval for the top, we've got our sentiment for the front. So just pop those dies back out. There we go. So now we can pop this oval on the top. I'm just going to use my Seal Plus again because I put my Tombow away like an idiot. And then try not to stick myself to it. I'm just going to line this up on the top there. Like so. Right, so last bits of decoration. I've got the glittered organdy ribbon. I can find the end. So I always glue dot my ends down because I have a ribbon stand just up there, and if I don't, they all just fly over the ends and I'm fighting for my ink through a shower of different ribbon. So I've kept all my seams to the back there. This is my front. We're going to glue dot that in the middle, and then I'm just going to get my other glue dots out ready for when it meets on the other side. And all we're going to do is follow this round, keeping it in line as much as we can, and then where it meets we're just gonna snip that, and then I'm gonna glue dot that like so. She says they're springing round today. And then making sure I line up those edges of the ribbon, stick that there. And I'm going to make a bow with it too. So I use the 2 rabbit ears and cross them over. And then like so we get his ribbon. Just neaten that out a little bit. There we are. Trim that off. And then another glue dot on the back of this. And where those seam of the ribbon joins, we're just going to pop that on top. And then I'm going to brush all the glitter that I've just got off the ribbon onto my mat. And we've got the ornate frame that we put in black glitter. I keep wanting to call it glimmer, but it's actually called glitter in the catalogue. I put a bit more seal on the back of that. I'm just going to line that up to the middle of the bow there on the front, like so. A bit of seal on the back of this one as well. And I'm going to line that up too. As best I can, she says. There we go. And then as a final bit of bulling on here. See, it's glimmer for the balmy blue, but for, I think this one's called glitter. And I don't know if it's because I think it's ever so slightly thinner paper than the other. I'm going to put one of the big ones there. I'll get one of the smaller ones and pop that there. And then we'll get another bigger one. And I'm going to pop that up there. So that is it. So we've got our 2 boxes. So this one's slightly smaller because this was my experiment, but as you can see, if it sat flush, it would be the same size. But which colour's best? Blackberry Bliss, Pretty Peacock. I hope you've enjoyed learning how to do the oval boxes. We don't see many of them around. I'm not the first to do it, so I'm not reinventing the wheel here, but I thought I'd share my techniques of bringing them together. I'm stuck for choice. I am a purple girl, but I do like the paper and the whole Halloween look on that colour of the Pretty Peacock there. So yeah, I'm stuck. Yeah, see, look, both very pretty. Yeah, I do like both of them. Okay, so The replay for this video will be available on YouTube at 7 o'clock tomorrow morning alongside my blog, so that is hullahbaloo.com, and that will be on there too with all the products used from this evening, and all the measurements that you will need if you wish to have a go at one of these yourselves. So they will be there tomorrow. Tomorrow evening I will be back here on my Facebook page at 7:30, and tomorrow I'm showing you how to adapt the little treat box die into something a bit bigger, and using some of our colour stacks. So I'll see you there. Thank you all for joining me. Don't forget, go and find my Instagram, which is Hullahbaloo SU. Go find my YouTube, or go to hullahbaloo.com and comment on any of the posts. Or if you're here on Facebook and you're already watching me on here live, comment. All your comments from these videos count, but you get extra comments if you then comment on the post, extra entries if you comment on the posts as well. Put my teeth in, shall I? And I'll see you all tomorrow evening. Thank you for joining. Bye.